We are joined by Aldrin Sampear, who is with Pule Mabe. So, Aldrin, I take it we want to hear a bit more from Pule Mabe because this is a man against whom the whole investigation around sexual harassment in terms of the ANC processes had been considered done and dusted, except, of course, the person, the woman who had accused him was not entirely satisfied with the particular process. And now we have him asking for an extended period of absence from his duties at the ANC.
Well, certainly indeed, and as you've indicated, that press briefing from earlier onward, there was some sort of clarity with regards to this position around Pule Mabe as well as the acting spokesperson, Zizi Kodwa. Just for some clarity as well, we're actually not from Luthuli House, but we are at a different place, not Luthuli House. So Pule Mabe is not at Luthuli House. He still remains on leave. Pule, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Just quickly give us clarity. What is Pule Mabe doing currently right now?
Well, thanks, Aldrin. I have requested the organization that I go on study leave because I'm enrolled for my master's in business leadership with the UNISA School of Business Leadership. So we had an incident when we were writing one of the papers in January. So we were then allocated slot to write on the 6th of March, which is next week. So when the hearing was concluded, it was at the time when I was already preparing for that academic program. Of course, soon after I received the outcomes of the hearing, one of the things that I then requested was that because I need to go on leave so that my mind is clear when I write on the 6th, I also requested that I need some time. There were certain recommendations that the panel had made. One of those was that we should also consider some counseling of sort. What I then did was to be in contact with my church, the African Methodist Episcopal, Mokoni Memorial in Soweto, Pimville, so that my pastor, Pastor Mkonazi, could then be able, because he is a qualified counselor, could be able to then provide that. So I've been over the past few days undergoing that program. We could not go in yesterday and today because he is undergoing training at his place of employment. Will again proceed on Thursday. So this process is expected to take me another month or so. I'm doing this for my own sake and for the sake of my own inner peace. You will appreciate, Aldrin, that the matter that was brought before the grievance panel where serious allegations of sexual harassment were made against my person is such a serious matter, especially for someone like me who comes from a household where I was raised by a single woman, raised by my own grandmother, and have always committed to the preservation and the rights of women.
Okay, and just make me understand this. If you are not at the office right now and you've now asked for this extended leave, yes, which means that you had not stepped aside based on the allegations or an expectation at least that there will be a criminal charge laid against you.
Yes.
So you've just decided to step aside in the meantime, right?
Well, I don't know about the
stepping aside.
No, I don't know about the criminal charge. It's very interesting because in the broadest terms, I'm not a law expert, but sexual harassment would fall within the province of the labor law. So of course, if there are institutions, whether they are criminal justice system or it's the CCMA, who might want, or whichever, any person might choose to want to ventilate their case further, I've always made myself available because nothing will change. I mean, I will, whether it's in a court of law and all of that. What I can confirm to you and the people of this country is that I'm not criminally charged of anything. Actually, I'm not awaiting to appear to any tribunal for whatever on this thing. I was invited to the ANC's grievance panel. I made myself available. I took leave. When the news came up, so that I could be able to present myself without having to draw in the organization. And I walked through that whole process. It was now, at the conclusion of the process, I also felt that for my own well-being, I might also need to allow myself space. You'll also consider, Aldrin, that my own organization, the African National Congress, as matters stand now, is actually seized with the immediate task of working towards the election process and making sure that all of our forces on the ground are actually energized towards that process.
So you not being in your position is not because there may be any investigation that will be taking place, but it's just a personal decision to deal with your own emotional state currently.
Yes. I mean, I'm not, by the way, just to help you, I'm not under any form of investigation, at least one that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
I've gone through the process that was laid out. I have decided to request that my leave be extended to grant me the space I need to go through a process. Remember that this is one of the recommendations that the panel itself has made. Now, as a disciplined cadre of the movement, having agreed to subject myself to a process of the organization, if that process makes certain recommendations on the things that must be undergone, which could boost our own emotional intelligence, I can't ignore that.
So it's not true that you are not in the office because you're waiting for an investigation to be completed or the allegations against you being tested, as per the statement of the ANC today?
Well, I didn't really have sight of the statement, and to the extent that they are those
Until which point do you then remain not the spokesperson of the ANC at this stage?
When I'm done with these processes and I'm comfortable that I could be able to discharge my responsibilities without any constraint, I will gladly be going back to the office. Of course, I continue to do what I need to do in the background as part of the Department of Information and Publicity. You'll also know that the responsibility attached to the role of a spokesperson is one that demands one to be out there in the public, communicating and canvassing views of the organization. It is only fair that when there are allegations that are raised, we allow those allegations, especially the ones that have got such a serious social bearing, like allegations of sexual indecency, sexual harassment. It is important that you give yourself space to attend to those without necessarily throwing the organization into such matters. Of course, Aldrin, and for your own sake, I can confirm that if there is any other tribunal or any other platform that may seek to still hear from me on what my views could be, I will always make myself available, because I understand that uniting our people, making sure that we assert the rule of law, our own internal processes in organizations where we are given responsibilities, we need to make sure that the views of everyone concerned are considered. That's why I allowed myself to participate in the process, strenuous as it might have been.
This morning there were reports that there was an NWC decision to suspend you, both you and Zizi Kodwa. We know that the Secretary General of the party has now given us some sort of explanation in terms of a public statement during that media briefing. But from your own personal understanding, what then could be at play if it's not true that the NWC came to a decision that both you and Zizi Kodwa be suspended?
Well, Aldrin, during the time when I went through what I called one of the hardest trials in my life, I have sought to remove myself from any conspiracy theories. What I did was to attend to the issues that were brought up, make sure that I clarify myself to the best of my knowledge on those, and I will not even want again to ventilate on the merits and demerits of the case, because those were ventilated in the correct and appropriate platform.
So there's no political hand at play here?
Well, why?
Because the thing is that in your statement, for instance, that you released this morning, you
Yes.
speak about character assassination.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I spoke to character assassination to the extent or that on how some of the matters would have played themselves out in the public. You will understand that when an issue is out there in the public, that concerns you to the extent that you might have conducted or carried yourself in a worrying manner or in a manner that is not befitting of a leader. What that would do is wittingly or unwittingly, it assassinates your own character, and it also puts your own imagery into question.
In your statement also you make an allusion to, you have been told, or some people have said, that there could be some NEC members of the party who are not happy with the outcome of that panel.
What I then did there was that I even qualified that. I said the rumor mill has it. Because what I was trying to demonstrate there is that it will not help me to want to elevate rumors in an instant such as that. So I allowed myself, and this is what I always do, when I face a case, it's not for the first time that I go through a case. I have gone through other cases before. When I go through a case, all I do all the time is I prepare myself, get my facts, respect the rights of people who might have raised their own concerns, and also make sure that I protect my own. I don't go out of my way to try and do other things that might not be in keeping with the rules of conduct.
And just the final one, have you ever tried to reach out to Khwerana?
Well, I don't have a problem with reaching out to anyone. I mean, I don't have an issue with that. As a matter of fact, I don't have hard feelings.
No, but have you tried? Have you tried to reach out to her?
You will appreciate, like I've said, that I'm going through a process as it stands. One of the things that this process is doing is that it is also allowing me to understand the price of forgiveness. That sometimes you must forgive people not because they have wronged you. You must forgive people because it is good to allow you to be at peace with yourself. So I would not have a problem of making sure that anyone that would have done things that I felt are untoward. I mean, we are members of the same organization. We belong to the same movement. We have got a collective role to make sure that we go out there and send a common message to the people of our country on how we want to grow South Africa. Of course, what we must be able to demonstrate to the people of this country is that when we faced challenges or were accused or there were allegations against us, we came out and clarified those. It is important that we do that.
Okay then, perfect. Thank you so much, Pule Mabe, the spokesperson of the ANC, who now confirms and has explained, clarified rather, that he did not step aside. However, though, he has requested for an extended leave and has indicated as well that he's also sought counsel from his pastor during this period that has affected him emotionally. And as you would know, that interview that Zikona Chona had with Khwerana, who has accused Pule Mabe of all these allegations, she has said that she's not happy with the decision that the panel eventually came down to, which effectively cleared Pule Mabe of all the allegations that have been made against him. And today we're hearing here from Pule Mabe saying that as far as he's concerned and as far as the knowledge that he has, there is no criminal case that has been opened against him as yet.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Aldrin Sampear. I guess the position is as clear as mud in as far as the actual status. Is it stepping aside? Is it study leave? We're really in that space where we're trying to figure out what exactly is the position. That's ENCA's Aldrin Sampear speaking there to Pule Mabe.